Chapter 8, Birchbark Campground in North Dakota. It wasn't until 4:45 a.m. when Casey realized he'd left one window open in his Mini Winnie. He rolled out of bed and cranked the window shut, but the damage was done. Bright-eyed, with a body like Frosty the Snowman, he hit the Brew Now button and opened his coat closet. Sifting through his outerwear, he gripped his icicle fingers on the last item in the closet. He clutched the wool sleeve and tried to block out the memories. Damn it, anyway. He pulled the heavy long-sleeve shirt down from the hanger and inched his arms into each sleeve. The liner was cool at first, but the thick wool felt like a weighted blanket. He gazed at the free National Park calendar he'd picked up at work. The month of May featured Grand Canyon National Park, a place he'd visited several times growing up. Its majestic landscape never failed to impress him. He wondered if he would ever get stationed at a crown jewel park like that. He thought back to a conversation he'd had with a park ranger stationed at Grand Canyon. The ranger had told him he would spend a considerable amount of time recovering dead or mangled bodies from visitors who, either through suicide or by accident, fall into the canyon. That part of the job didn't appeal to Casey at all, but finding the person who murdered the buffalo calf's mother at Knife River got his predator instincts firing. The Sharpie dangled on a string next to the calendar. Popping the cap, he stared at the date, the 30th of May. Instead of his usual X, he drew a balloon and returned the Sharpie. His mug filled with coffee as black as iron, he slid onto the bench at his table. Opening the lid of his MacBook, he connected to his Starlink internet, which gave him excellent coverage so far in North Dakota. Thank you very much, Elon. The piece of paper from Honda rested on the table. Casey's program at Temple had included an intense open source research class where he'd learned techniques on how to search online for information. Casey opened an incognito browser and typed Rebel Resources LLC in the DuckDuckGo search bar. He brought his mug up and savored the first sip for the caffeine and the warmth. Search results for Rebel Resources revealed several incorporated companies using that exact name in different states across the country. Casey clicked on a few of the hits, and all the companies had different owners. Nothing connected to North Dakota. He tried searching on the name on North Dakota's Secretary of State database. He found one hit. There was a company that was doing business as Rebel Resources LLC tied to a P.O. box in Choke Cherry. The parent company's name was Rebel Resources Incorporated, a foreign company incorporated in the state of Delaware. A quick search of Delaware state business records disclosed nothing. Casey conducted some additional research and found over half of all Fortune 5 companies incorporated in Delaware. He hadn't known incorporating a business in Delaware was the equivalent of putting money in a Swiss bank. Users on a Reddit forum discussed how the state of Delaware would rather secede from the union than reveal any information about businesses incorporated in their state. Dead end. He tried Rebel Resources and North Dakota in the search bar. A fist pounded on the door and he spilled coffee on his laptop. Seriously? He rushed to his paper towel rack. Let me in already. I'm practically in my birthday suit out here. Truckee pounded on the door again. Casey unlocked the door on his way back to his computer. It's open. Come in. Truckee cranked the door open and slammed it behind him. The RV groaned under the added weight. Morning. Oh, classic coffee on the keys situation, I see. Better clean that up quick. Thanks for that, by the way. Casey dabbed the paper towels on his laptop keys, making the windows on his computer go nuts. What are you doing up so early? And for God's sake, why didn't you put clothes on first? Truckee pulled his robe slits together and tied the robe's belt tight across his belly. Too early for clothes, but nice flannel, Paul Bunyan. Where'd you get it? Was my older brother's shirt. He passed it on to me. Casey left the paper towels on the laptop and refilled his mug. Want some coffee? Would love some. Truckee melted onto the bench across from Casey's laptop. What do you mean passed it on like it didn't fit him? No, he died. Casey's voice quivered. He set a mug down in front of Truckee and sat opposite of him. Last year. Sorry, man, I didn't know. Want to talk about it? Not right now. No worries. Truckee took a sip of coffee. Good, big brother? Casey stared down at the black and red flannel shirt that belonged to his brother. Before he died, his brother wore it every night of that fateful camping trip they had together, until the last night. His brother was proud to tell Casey he purchased the flannel for $300 at a place called Bemidji Woolen Mills in northern Minnesota. Bought it just before he started his first permanent ranger position up at Voyageurs National Park along the Canadian border in Minnesota. He was the best, Casey said. My little sister called my brother the golden boy of our family and me the black sheep. He was a All-American Eagle Scout, my father's favorite son in every way. I was the troublemaker and he was the star athlete. He was valedictorian and I was a solid B, sometimes C on most subjects. He clicked with my father where I clashed. I'm sure that was tough to process growing up. It was, but my brother didn't hold it over me. He could have, and most brothers probably would have, but he did just the opposite. How so? There was this one time I was in ninth grade and my brother was a senior. I went to the mall right after school and got my ear pierced. Guess I thought it was cool. My brother, his name was Nolan, was outside our house shooting hoops when I returned from the mall and he saw my new piercing. Knowing my father better than I, he said Dad was literally gonna kill me when he got home from work. Not like beat me or ground me, but kill me. I shrugged it off and my brother told me he was gonna make sure he wasn't around when Dad got home. Fast forward to supper, I go to sit down at the table and my parents are there with my sister, but my brother isn't there. My sister saw my piercing and made a big deal about it. That's when my father started in on me. Mom tried to hold him back, but his face got redder than the devil's left tit. That's a good one. I'll have to write that one down. I thought he was about to grab his service weapon and end me. Before he could draw his gun, the front door burst open and my brother rushed the table. He sat down next to me without a word. Father looked at my brother and clammed up. My sister and mom both cupped their hands over their mouths. My father didn't know what to say. He just sent both of us boys to our rooms. What made him stop? Truckee asked. Nolan had gone out and got his ear pierced right before dinner because he knew my father wouldn't be as mad at me if he did it too. Damn, dude. Truckee choked up and brushed away a tear. Now that's a big brother right there. He was great, Casey sighed. So did you just come over for a free coffee or what? I think the Starbucks at the Shop and Drop Mall's already open. First, do you have any duct tape in here? I'm fresh out. No. No biggie. I'm gonna hit Home Depot later in the week and can grab you a roll. I'm good. You should always have a roll of duct tape around. That's really what you came over here for? Oh, the other thing. Truckee reached into an oversized pocket on his robe and pulled out a crinkled poster. I saw your light on and I figured I would catch you before work. This is what I was trying to find last night at the pub. Sorry you didn't win, by the way. No biggie. I mean, everyone knows a guy like Flipper goes home and screams into a pillow all night long until he passes out. So who's the real winner? Truckee ran a hand across the poster and spun it around in front of Casey. What's this for? It was hanging up above the urinal at P's and Q's and it made me think of you, Truckee said. I never want you thinking about me with your wiener in your hand. If you could only be so lucky, but come on, look. Truckee knocked his knuckles on the poster. A help wanted ad for outlaw hunters of choke cherry. They've been advertising like crazy on NoDoc News for this place. They're looking for fugitive recovery agents to join the team. Casey peered down at the poster. It had an illustration of someone wearing a bulletproof vest tackling another person on the run. Starting pay at $75K isn't bad. Isn't bad? Truckee narrowed his eyes. What do you get paid as a GS2 working for Interior, huh? I could go down flip hamburgers at Mickey D's and make twice your petty government paycheck. Casey laughed. Okay, true. I earn pennies right now. But if I get trained at FLETC and score a permanent ranger position, it's a good living with excellent benefits. And what's this? He slid the paper back across the table. Like a bounty hunter gig? Do I look like Dog the Bounty Hunter to you? Truckee pushed the paper back. You're a giant compared to the dog. And this will give you a chance to do some real law enforcement work and get paid for it. No more chup change to look after burial mounds, but real money for a mission bigger than yourself. I thought you liked the city's rough nature. Sure, I joke about how wacky the city's violence is, but Choke Cherry is swarming with fugitives, bad dudes and dudettes causing actual harm to the city and state. You can use your skills to make this community a better place. I have 96 days to go, and I'm out of North Dakota for good. Besides, I'd rather combine my ranger temp work with an internship with Billy Geronimo. He's accepting applications. The treasure hunter? Casey nodded. Okay, that guy's cool. Maybe I'll apply for an internship with him too. See? One girl who lives here at the campground hangs out with Geronimo. Her name's Clementine, but everyone calls her Clemmy. She might give you the inside scoop on him if you ever decide to grace our neighbors with your presence. Yeah, I need to do a better job of that. Hey, about Geronimo, I saw him last night in the VIP room at P's and Q's. He was with this older guy, bald with a blue suit on. That's Leo Gleck, the owner of the place who has the army of loss prevention agents. Why would Geronimo and Gleck be hanging out? Hell if I know, but don't worry about that. Truckee folded up the poster and jammed it into the front pocket of Casey's flannel. Focus those brain cells on thinking about this opportunity. Maybe. All I'm saying is when I hear the ad on the radio or see the poster around town, I immediately think of you. Truckee finished his coffee and stood up. Just humor me and stop by the Outlaw Hunter's office and talk to the owner. His name is on the poster. You're 22 years old. You need to explore all your options. Casey smirked. 23 today. You son of a bitch. Truckee slapped him on his shoulder and spilled coffee again. Happy birthday. You better do something fun today and stop by the campfire tonight so we can sing to you. I'm sure it'll be another legendary day in North Dakota. See you tonight.